All right. Hello. Welcome, everyone. So we've been giving a demo to ourselves for the last 5 minutes. There was a little bit of a change in the Demio configuration and the way it works. But anyway, I welcome and thanks for the time. I'm Ward Johnsmeyer, part of the business development team at Swappa, and with me today is Wesley Thurston, who's also part of business development.
Hi, everyone.
Yep. And so thanks for joining us. So what we're gonna go over today is a couple quick things. One is we've got incoming inventory, which is a new. I'm gonna just go ahead and stop sharing my screen for the moment while I set this up. Incoming inventory, which helps you quickly list items on Swappa. In the past, you've had to do listings one at a time, and that is too labor intensive. It's feedback that we've gotten from our larger sellers, and so we want to make sure that not only are our fees extremely competitive, but we want to make sure that it's easier for you to list on Swappa than it's been, and just we continue to invest in our business sellers and helping making sure that they can do things in an efficient manner. So we're gonna cover incoming inventory, and then the second thing we're going to cover today is the B2B Exchange. And the B2B Exchange is basically a marketplace within Swappa for businesses. Can be wholesalers, repair shops. Not specific to anyone, but just an opportunity for businesses to be able to easily create listings and sell to each other outside of our standard marketplace, which is obviously consumers are there buying devices. So anyway, so we're gonna get going with it right away. Normally we kind of have some slides and things, but today we wanted to just make sure this was all demo and answering questions that you might have. So if you have anything, please go ahead and put that in the chat, and we can do Q&A throughout. We're not, definitely want this to be flexible and make this time useful for you. So Wes has posted our Calendly link. I think that should still be visible there, but if you like what you're hearing and you want a little more specific guidance or a demo that's specific to your use case and the way you're doing things, we're happy to set that up and walk you through it. So click on that Calendly link, and it'll give you available times that you can schedule us, and we'll jump on a call and work it out. So anyway, with that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to jump into incoming inventory and some of the portal there, so you can see how that works and changes relative to what you've seen before. So give me 1 second. Share my screen. Okay, Wes, can you see my screen?
I can see your screen. If anybody has, if anybody's having trouble, please pop into the chat and let us know. I believe you all should be able to see it at this point.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so this is just kind of the general dashboard now. So this is quite a bit different from what you've probably used to my Swappa, but this is got some demo information in it. So this is not actual stuff, but just to help you visualize. So there's a couple things here I just want to quickly point out. So if you're not using ShipStation, that's enabled here. Basically, go to My Business, look at the ShipStation credentials. I think we have a lot of people that are making use of this, and it just brings all your orders in a nice, efficient way, makes it easy to ship, pulls in all the pertinent information from a sale, and I think we've just had a ton of positive feedback about that. So if you need more information, let us know. You can also do some things like bulk editing. So I'm not going to do a lot of that here today, but if you wanted to, you could go in and change a bunch of prices in bulk, and just it'll put it in yellow, so it's just a kind of a visual reminder of what's going on. But these are all things that are now available, and you can also do this to extend your listings. So I don't have any here that are about to expire, but we don't want you to ever have to go and click through emails again and extend things. Instead, you could come in here, literally click them all and extend. And so there might be a limit of 50 at once, but that's a whole lot easier than one at a time, which is how it used to be. So anyway, hopefully that's some good, helpful advice. The other thing on the profile side, oops, I went too far. I need to edit my profile. is that it used to, when you're creating a standard listing, uh, you had to go in and put your company description and some of this other information in, and some of it wasn't available one at a time. But for example, like a listing addendum, maybe you include a cable or you have a 30-day warranty or whatever it is. But these are things that would apply to all your listings. So you can go in and put that in, shipping policy, refund policy, all that. If you put that information in, it'll pull it into every listing, and you no longer have to do the copy and paste game and do it one at a time. So probably something that most of you would appreciate. But again, the main focus on what I want to talk about is incoming inventory, because that's really where the time savings is the most significant. Let's see here. So I'm just I cleared mine out, so we'll just start with a blank slate. But basically, this is a work area. You can put in quite a few listings. You can create a bunch of listings at once. That's the whole intent of it. And I thought it'd be easier to start from scratch to follow along. But there's a bunch of different ways to go about this. So one would be, I could add an item, just one at a time and go through it and, put in my information. It will, if you put in an IMEI, it'll do a good job, estimating what it thinks it is based on the TAC, and then you can go in and quickly put it in. But you can see that's fine, but it's probably not the most efficient way to go. You could also import ESNs if you wanted to. I'm just going to give you a quick example so you can see how that works. Again, a good capability is just something that we're able to do with just some marketplace tools that we have for the moderation team. But it will look at the TAC and start to make some estimates as to what it is, and then you can proceed. But regardless, when you do those things, you're starting listings. They're getting going. Or I could import a sheet. And so I think this is what most people would appreciate, and the way most would go. So I'm going to give you an example. I'll go ahead. I've got an Excel file. I'm going to open it up. Hopefully you can see this. And there's a template you can download. But obviously, just use this template. Don't modify any of the columns, but just put the information in that's pertinent. And you have it ready to go. So I am going to import this sheet. And I'll show you what it does. Oops, doesn't like it. Okay, it must need to be the Excel file. All right, so I did that. So I had all that information populated. So now you can see just with that, I've got, however many listings, like 15, 16 listings that are pretty much ready to go. The only thing they need now are images. And so we have something that's pretty helpful on that front. We've added an image library. And so you can go ahead of time and put these in. And I know these aren't some of these are stock photos, which we don't allow, but just for demo purposes. If you had, you can reuse photos here. You can use your profile code. So it's a huge time savings relative to, having to use the unique code on each and every image, and that saves you time not having to take a bunch of new ones. But we need you to make sure that you're using images that are representative of the lot. For instance, a good iPhone, SE white will have a different image than a mint iPhone SE white, and for obvious reasons, we need something that represents the lot. And if it, that wouldn't be representative if it were used for multiple things. So anyway, that's all I had to do, and now mine's ready to list. So I could do that for a couple of these, and I'm just gonna go ahead and it tells me what's missing. Let's go ahead. You have something to say?
Oh, no, I had just answered a question from David. He was asking where this was on the menu. And just to clarify, we have to enable incoming inventory on your profile. So if you would just shoot us an email at wesley@swappa.com or ward@swappa.com. I put that in the text chat as well. And we can get that enabled for you guys.
Perfect. I'm going to just do one more just to show you how easy this is. So, and we're making huge investments in this. So we're going to continue to add to this image gallery. We've got, I think next week or two, we've got quite a few things coming just with some tagging and searchability among your photos, just because if you start to get hundreds of images in there for some of our large sellers, then that can be a challenge unto itself. So we're going to solve for that too. So anyway, just with that little bit amount of work, I've these are ready to list. So, I push them through, put in, this is where I live, Olathe, Kansas. And, I'm not going to put it express shipping, but I create listings and it sends it to the moderation team. So that's it. So I'm going to delete these, and I want to show you one other thing. We've got an integration with Wholesale, which is a serialized inventory management solution designed specifically for the mobile industry. And so I've got an account with Wholesale, and kind of the idea here, just to set the stage, is that I've put all my inventory in here. I'm tracking it. They have tons. You can see all the different functionality they have over here, but it's a really good solution, and they're happy to help you and give you a free trial. But basically, I've put a lot of this information that was in that spreadsheet already exists in Wholesale and more. And so basically, what you would go if you were a Wholesale user, you go in and just select these items, and then when you're ready to list them on Swappa, you've got a bulk action available. And you just hit list on Swappa. So you're not dealing with any spreadsheets or any of that headache, and this gets updated, and we've got a nice deep integration. So there's never any real need to go manually update spreadsheets in this context. So I'm just going to refresh the page, and you can see all those things that I just pushed over. And so the same thing says, so in this case, it's telling me no condition set. Okay, well, what do I do? It's got an A grade in Wholesale. We don't recognize A grade. We'll just call, we know it, our A grade is whatever, and it translates to mint. And so, now it's just telling me, add an image. Let me do a couple of these just to carry the example. But, if you want, you need to add, description and other things, you can do that. And you can do mass updates and things like that. There's a lot that goes on here, but anyway, if I did that and then I add the images, I can do just as I did before, and these are done and ready to be listed. So there's a bunch of different ways to go about it, but from our perspective, these are all much, much faster than what anybody had been doing previously. So Wes, I'm gonna pause at this point. Any comments or anything that I've missed?
Just from what we've heard, feedback from others who've used this current power sellers is that it speeds up the process tremendously. So, we're happy to, again, enable this on any of your profiles. Just feel free to email us if it hasn't already been done. For those of you who it has, we're happy to answer questions at any time. We're here for you guys. Just let us know if you need anything.
Yeah. Our focus at Swappa is to work with businesses on the site. So if you need something and you have questions, obviously we've got a great support organization. They do all the moderation and things and all the day-to-day support. And but if you've got something related to business, or you've got a feature that you're interested in, we're happy to discuss it, and we're always happy to schedule time and go through whatever you need. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. And we'll wait and then go on to B2B. Okay, let me catch up here. Hassan, how you doing? Yeah, so I'm glad you asked about PayPal. So we're thankful for the opportunity to work with PayPal. They're a really important partner for us. That said, we are diversifying our payment options, and we're working on Stripe. That's something that'll be coming soon. And so I think one of the things, when you look at fees and so forth, Stripe versus PayPal, in a lot of cases they look pretty similar. But one of the things that I think that I'm excited about is that there's a lot of people that just don't use PayPal, or they prefer to just pay with a credit card, or whatever the case may be. I know you can add a credit card on PayPal, but some people don't want to do that. And so we want to serve our users the best we can, and as a result, adding Stripe, and we will have a filter of some kind. Hasn't been nailed down exactly, and I imagine it will be close to the top, if not at the top, but sellers that accept credit card payments. And so, when we get that going, we'll have a number of, a lot of communication that goes out, and you'll have an opportunity to add that. And so if you're accepting if you're taking Stripe and you're willing to do that, then you'll, when they click on that filter, they'll be able to see it. I mean, in all candor, we have a lot of people, new users in particular, who want to buy from businesses, and that's great. And we have some people who just prefer to buy from an individual, and that's fine too. At some point we may have a filter that excludes businesses, but that won't be something that's prominent. Obviously, there's just, we want to give people what they want, and we know that they want to be able to buy in that way and have an alternative to PayPal. So anyway, hopefully that helps. There's other things we're doing on the B2B side that I think are pretty interesting. We're working on a payment solution to make it easy for you to do wire transfers. We know there can be some room for error there and that sort of thing. So we've got a third party, that highly reputable third party, that does a lot of white label solutions for big companies and organizations. And so we're working through that. It'll be very inexpensive. It's Friday, and my words are struggling. We'll be paying a pretty substantial amount each month to enable that as a service, and the result is that for B2B users it will be inexpensive. So very, very cheap, and things like next day. So anyway, hopefully Hassan, hopefully that answers your question well. Any other questions on incoming inventory? I was getting some feedback, Wes. I don't know if that was you, but
It was. I apologize. I went on mute.
Any way to make offers binding? So Hassan, I'm assuming you're asking in the context of the B2B exchange or in the Swappa marketplace, because they're kind of two different things. So if someone makes an offer to you and says, "Hey, I'll accept that," it would probably be some pretty big technological change in the standard marketplace to be able to accept an offer like that. But usually you just hit the buy button, and that's what we've been doing. So we can take that back to the team and just mention that it came up and see what they say. You never know. But I know. I think I know what you're describing. In the B2B exchange context, the offers are not binding because it's an offer in the traditional sense of the word. It's someone's making just a general offer to buy something, and then we know inventory can be a challenge and can move quickly and pretty dynamic in the wholesale environment. So it's important that the seller have a chance to just confirm that, hey, I still have that, and that sort of thing. Whereas in the standard Swappa marketplace, we're assuming obviously that they've got the inventory that they've listed. So anyway, Wes, if you'll just keep an eye out on any other questions, and if they come up, feel free to stop me. But I'm going to go ahead and pop up the B2B exchange at this point. So I'm like, let's see here, share my screen. Okay, I'm sharing it. All right. So anyway, let's just go through this. So I'm in incoming inventory still, and I want to get to the B2B exchange. Under my business, and this is in demo, but under my business, you can see your business dashboard, or you can see the exchange dashboard. So let's go over there. All right. So now we're in the exchange. This is a demo environment as well. So this information you hear, I mean, we're not really buying iPhone minis for $1,200, although I'm sure we'd love to get that price for it. But regardless, this is the kind of the homepage for the B2B exchange. And you can see, here's some inventory. If you want to dig really further into it, browse inventory. And then we've got some different headings here that you can go to. But I think what I really want to focus on here primarily is how to use this and how to get started. So, but if there's any questions that come along, we can move. So it all kind of starts with, if you've got inventory that you want to sell, let's consider that scenario. You can either click here for stock list or click this arrow to go to stock list. So I'm starting from scratch. So there's a couple things I can do. I can, import a sheet, and and if that's the case, we've got an example template file that you can use, and it makes it easy, and you just populate it on your own. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So here's my stock list file, and it's just it's got various information in it, and I can show you what it looks like just for the sake of being complete, but kind of see it's got the variance, the specific here, and we've got dashes here. At some point, we're going to talk to the dev team because I don't think too many people are keeping their information stored in this way. It's more make and model separated out. But regardless, this is what it is, and it's easy enough to do. Just, but this is what I'm importing. So anyway, without further delay, I'm going to hit import. And you can see, it's bringing all this stock in. So I'm just going to proceed, go back to my stock list. So now I've got a ton, and it's out there and it's ready to go. I can edit it if I'd like to, change the price, color, etc. But there's just not a whole lot to this. It's just getting it out there, getting it in front of people, and going from there. If I wanted to, I could turn one of these into a paid post, which means that it's going to be part of an email digest that goes out to all the members, so that they can see it if they want to buy it. So I could do that here. I could create a paid post. So here's all my stock that already exists. It's $10 each, and it would. But if anyone, we know who's attended this call, and so if any of you would like to create a stock list, I'll happily feature a couple of them for you at no cost. Just attendees for today, we'll extend that too. But anyway, that's all you have to do, and then those get out there, and we won't go through it. I don't think I have the Stripe sandbox turned on to pay for it, but that's it. And they also get featured at the top of pages. But so that's kind of where it starts. It all any marketplace starts with inventory, and that's what you do. I'm going to delete all this just for a quick second, and I also want to show you we do have a wholesale integration here. And so I can also manually add an item, just go in and type it in, or I could just hit my wholesale button, and once a day it'll sync it up with my inventory based on whatever I've exposed it to, and it'll add. Oh, something's going on here. Go ahead.
The financed units being able to be sold on the B2B exchange. Do you know the answer to that one?
Yeah, So they could be, but it just needs to be very clearly disclosed. We used to have the Swappa boneyard, which some of you may be familiar with, and basically we had a situation where individuals were able to sell devices and things, and so of that sort, and we weren't comfortable with it, so we turned it off. But we will be turning it back on. But as part of the B2B exchange, you could list broken items, you could list those, just be very clear about it and make sure that it's it's not going to be missed. But there are legitimate reasons why businesses would end up with those devices, and therefore they should be able to be sold. It's just we would never let just an individual that wasn't a vetted business to come on and list those types of things. But the fact that we know the businesses do end up with those for very good reason, and so I think you'd be happy. I think people would certainly buy those and use them for parts or whatever. So yep. Anyway, I'm going to take a quick look here. For some reason, I tried this earlier, and it always works great, but isn't that the way demos go sometimes? But anyway, to check my integrations, I just go here on my wholesale account, and I go to Swappa, and I click on the B2B Exchange, and I've got my account key here, and I'm just going to go and double check it. And it looks like it's successful. So let me go back to my stock list. Oh, looks like it loaded. So I'm just going to, just for the sake of doing this, I want to do it fresh. There it is. Okay, good to go. But that's all you'd have to do. And if you've got inventory, you can. When I was over here, I can create my own inventory statuses. So I I could make an inventory status that said Swappa B2B or whatever it was, and click that, and once a day it's going to go. Once a day it's going to go in and pull that and just auto expose it so that it's out here in the exchange and people can see it. So that's how that works. So what we've done now is we've covered stock. So we now understand that there's stock out there, and what happens next. So someone wants to, I can either do a paid post, or someone might make me an offer. So I've got some offers. I had one that Wes and I were doing. It came in, and his demo account is Potent Potables. And anyway, I had this example of these T-Mobile devices out here, and he made an offer, and it came through, and we're able to communicate. When you get an offer that comes in, there's messaging down here, and you can also see it in your home screen here. And the whole intent of all this is just we know you sometimes communicate through WhatsApp and all those things, and you can still do that, but this is just a nice way to have all your documents and everything related to it in one place. So here's the Potent Potables here. He sent me that message. I can easily add more to it, click in here and just talk back and forth, or I can go through and review my old messages and all that. So anyway, just to carry this example forward, I was in here, I accepted his offer, and then it became an order that had the exact same offer number, just for continuity throughout. So in doing that, he could see my shipping address. I put in an invoice here so that he could see that, and we just have all our documents straight and nice and orderly in one place. Could refer back to if we needed to. Tracking number was in here that we put in, and anyway, that's basically it. But the idea is just to have a nice, orderly, simple place to work. So anyway, and you see here, he paid me through Stripe, and that's fine. We're getting very close to adding PayPal integration in this, and I think that'll be helpful for people. We do have a 1% fee now on transactions, so just something to be aware of. We know there's people that in this space that charge 10% and things like that, and we think that's just nuts. Swappa really tries hard to keep the fees low. We want you to be successful. We know you have to feed your families and grow your businesses and keep everything going. And so the 1% is pretty modest in our view, and just helps us continue to invest in this and make it better and better. So, and we haven't been at this for very long. We're well north of 100 members, and it's exciting. We've got quite a bit of, I think 30 plus paid posts out there right now that are going to be in the email digest that comes out Monday. So it's been exciting to see the growth and things moving along. So anyway, so we kind of went through the stock. We went through an order or an offer. So I could reject the offer if I had wanted to, or I could comment back and say, that's not going to be enough. Would you please edit this? And I will take X amount for it. And so there's obviously good ways to just have some communication here and get to a conclusion that works for everybody, or not. But that's kind of the intent. And then you saw how an offer went to an order, and then finally some of the documentation that went along with it. And that's pretty much it. I know we've covered a lot, so I appreciate everyone's patience. But I can go back and see my older orders and that sort of thing, and it's but it's working out well. We're off to a good start. We're enjoying it, and I think people are getting good benefit out of it. We're having a fair amount of activity, and so that's the latest. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and see if there's any questions. I see Shamika had hers, and we missed that one, but I don't think there's anything else. So
I believe we answered all the questions in the chat, but feel free to post any questions here. If you prefer to reach out an email, you have our emails above. Just anything you guys need, just let us know.
Yeah, and then I'll post the. Oh, great! Thanks, Gary. Appreciate the feedback. And if you ever need anything, let us know. There's our Calendly invite. You can click on that, and we will magically appear, and it'll be great. Okay, if the inventory on the consumer Swappa isn't on business, should I take those down and list them on the business site? That's up to you. Shamika, if you're using wholesale, and I think you might be, you could segment some things and just, like for instance, we don't allow broken on the main Swappa site, and we don't allow financed on the standard Swappa site, where consumers would come by, and but we do allow all those things on the B2B exchange. Broken could certainly be listed, and all that. So yeah, I would just say if you've got plenty of inventory on something, then maybe it's fine, but do what you're most comfortable with. But yeah, I segmenting them probably makes sense. So if it were me, that's what I would be doing. So, and then a question from Tom. I'm in income and inventory. Rose says ready to list. Is there another step to get it approved? No, I would just go, Tom. I'd go through and look at it. Make sure you've got a description in there that you're happy with. You might. It could be that you've just got the very base stuff addressed, but I just go through and give it a once over. You can click on it to see view on the right side there, I believe it is, and so that'll give you a little preview of it. But if you're good to go with it, then yeah, just click it and send it through. That's it. Just one thing to remind is we're allowing those using incoming inventory to use their profile code rather than the unique individual code that you'd have to generate each time. Now, we say that with the caveat that if all of a sudden people are buying from you and what they're receiving is there's a clear discrepancy between they were showing a photo for something that was good and they got something that's fair, then that becomes an issue, and that privilege would be pulled back. But yeah, Tom, to answer your question, yeah, it's ready to go. So yeah, that's it. The whole thing is this. We wanted to make it easier, and so I think with ShipStation and all these other things, bulk extend, they all add up, and I think you'll all find that they're a big help to you. So that's our goal. We want to make it as easy for you as possible. So. All right. Well, Wes, I think we've covered it, my friend. Thanks for joining me, and I'm sure glad you discovered that we were presenting to ourselves.
Absolutely. Yeah. And thanks, Ward, and thanks everybody for joining us. And just to reiterate again, if you have any questions, please email us at wesley@swappa.com or ward@swappa.com. And I'm sure we'll have questions after. We always do. So we're happy to help.
Yep. Thank you all. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.